So I'm going to ask you some questions. Tell me, do you really wonder where the heck is your true self? Are you looking under every corner in the house, in every corner, every place, including the corners of your mind to figure it out? Or have you been thinking that I've been doing this work all my life, trying to find my true self, and it hasn't shown up yet, and I am frustrated? Or you try and try, but nothing seems to reveal who I really am. I just want to know who I really am. Well, hang on today because we're going to answer that question with my panel and information about the universal laws of the universe. So I am Sandra Longmore, and I am here the first 3 Thursdays of the month. I do take the last Thursday off. I practice self-care. So you can join me on Google Plus, either on my internet site. You can get the program live and the archives, or on YouTube later. And I am an energy practicer of my craft of working with the energies of the universe, which means I am flowing with the highest vibration of the universe. I like to call it vibrazione, which is Italian for vibration, and vibration is what trumps everything. Now, how have I been doing this? You might be saying, how in the heck is she doing this? Well, I learn and practice everything I can get my hands on that help me become more understanding of these universal laws. I became certified as a Law of Attraction trainer twice through my life coaching program with QSCA, Quantum Success Coaching, and through Michael Lozier, who is my mentor on Law of Attraction. I'm also a master for advanced coaching, a published author, and a speaker and teacher of art. So yeah, I like energy. And I like to create things. I like to inspire and uplift, like this program, Hang Out with Sandra Longmore. So it does a lot for me just as well as it does for the viewer, because I get to experience new information, and I get to discover diversity and discovery of what might be next for me and for you. So this show is about living the highest vibrazione possible, the highest vibration possible, and creating and figuring out energy. And I have 2 Google Plus communities dedicated just to this. The one is artist crafter, and what every artist crafter and artisan should know about Law of Attraction. And on that, it's about the business of being an artist and knowing about Law of Attraction, and where like-minded people can meet. And then I have another one which is called The Art of Living Ageless. Now, how do you join those? Well, you just go to Communities in Google Plus and you get to join them. And I think you'll find lots of stimulation there. I also would like to announce today that I have a special 4-part series going on right now. We're in our 2nd class, but it will be recorded, and later you can get the recordings and join the very special community about the 4-part series. And it's entitled What Every Artist Ought to Know About Law of Attraction in Business. So it's the principles of Law of Attraction as related to your artistic business. And it's lots of fun. So this purpose of this here hangout, and of all my hangouts, is to bring you thoughts and beauties and solutions to everything in life. And it's beautiful ideas, great thoughts, and I have everything that I think makes a life as a work of art, where you can stand back and you can look at your life and say, I did that. It was diverse and fun and challenging and fun, and it was fun, fun, fun. So join me every Thursday for at least the first 3 Thursdays of the month, high noon, for more on Hang Out with Sandra Longmore show. And, you know, for you, it's kind of like a mastermind, and for me too, because we join together with guests and speakers and solutions and information that inspire your art. It's kind of like a mastermind where like meets like. and you get new inspired thoughts, new ideas, and artistic beauty. And we take it where we've never been before. Like right before this program started, the three of us who are on the panel today, we're talking about different things, and we were talking about things that we had never been before. So it was really inspirational and exciting. So I'm going to introduce my panel right now, and then we'll get back to the spotlight person here, which is Milene. So first of all, let's start with you, Milene.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Sandra, for inviting me to this fun conversation about art and living ourselves and living in the moment and expressing exactly that through our art. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Tony?
Hi, I'm Tony Winters. I'm an artist, and I was just thinking about, I guess I'm a student of life, and I'm learning my path and journey. So it's always a joy to come hang out with Sandra and different panelists. So thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm so happy you're here today. So, some of you are not aware of the law of attraction, or you want to know more, or you wonder what the heck it is. Well, I'm going to get you up to speed really quickly. So the law of attraction is a universal energy. It's a universal field. We are all experiencing it all the time. It's in the plants, it's in the stars, it's in everything. It's in the tip, from the tip of my toes to the tip of my head and beyond. So it's a flowing, it's kind of like a spectrum, like a rainbow. And the closer you come to opening to the energy, you're going to find it fun. So if all this is going on our planet and in ourselves, why not learn how to harness the law of attraction? And that's what we're going to work with today and in future shows. We're going to work on becoming a deliberate creator or a deliberate energy harnesser. And the more you practice, the more you're going to build the muscles of law of attraction. And that means that you're going to attract more of what you want and less of what you don't want. Do you know that your cells are being reformed? And so is your emotional base. You don't have to be stuck with old emotions. And what that means is that once you start gaining in the self-help way, in learning about the fundamental formulas of the laws of the universe, you can't go back, because it feels so bad to go back, and you're going to recognize it right away. You don't want to go to those spots anymore. So you're going to realize how to make your life happier, more productive, and your business more productive. So your thoughts are just like chemical shifts and beliefs, and the thoughts that you think they create a certain results. And one of the biggest things you can do for yourself is come to this one realization. It starts with a big R, and that's responsibility. Because truly you are responsible for the life that you're creating. And you go, well, I'm not creating it. Well, try some different results and see how it feels when you start taking responsibility for what's happening to you. Now, for example, I love to create. I love to create my thoughts, and my art. I teach art, so I like to tell people all about art, and I like to talk to them about the artist's eye. So if you can look at the world through your artist's eye, then you start to have the way the artist perceives things. So the artist perceives things in a different way. We can see things that are subtle, that are we have disappearing edges in our work. We have soft edges, and we have crisp edges, and that brings everything into the third dimension, so it looks 3D. And that's the way the law of attraction looks also at your life. And when you start to use it that way, you can work with the subtler parts of your life and figure out the gap between the spark of something and the manifestation of something. And we're going to talk about that later here. So that spark that you feel and then it manifests. Sometimes you might call it coincidence, serendipity, fate, meant to be, or you observe things and people showing up in your life, especially when you have a strong desire, a spark. Then these things also could be negative or positive. So here they are. They could be negative or positive. Who knows, you know? You know. So the more you work with that, you're going to find out more about how that whole thing works. Now, one of the ideas, too, about learning about law of attraction from the point of an artist is it's like you have paint when you're an artist, or you have clay when you're a person that models from clay. And so the materials you use are like the materials that law of attraction uses to create your life. But you're in charge of putting together that picture. Law of attraction doesn't care what the picture looks. The law of attraction is the clay. The law of attraction is the paint. The law of attraction is the energy that is used by you. So you can't really see what the spark is. You can only see by the results of what you paint with what you've got, or what you model with the clay. So we're magnetic. You know, we draw that stuff to us, and that's part of that universal law. So whatever you put energy, focus, and desire on, that's what you're going to get more of. So that's a little bit about law of attraction and the fundamental law that that is well worth learning more about. So now I'm going to reintroduce the topic, which is, where the heck is my true self? But before we go into that, and our spotlight guest today, I'm going to tell you a little story. And this is a story about two very famous artists. And they were driving to a show where they were going to show their art. And artists, yeah, we got to do shows, we got to put our art online and things like that. And as they were driving, it was dark, you know, because you have to get up early when you're going to go to shows. You can hear in my voice that that's not a high vibe. But anyway, you get up and you go drive into the show. And these two particular artists were drinking their coffee just as the sun started to come up. And the one artist says, "Oh, look at that. Look at the shimmer of the sun as it hits the water. Oh, how beautiful, how delicious. And look at that light as it hits the tip of the branches there, and it just comes to life all of a sudden." It says, "This is what I love about being an artist. Feeling, touching, and seeing the great creations of Earth. And this is where I find my true self." Now, I made up that story just to get as a teaching point, but it is that way. So now I'd like to take you into just a little bit of an information about that way of your true self. So just take a deep breath, and first let out your breath for the count of 6. Bring in your breath to the count of 7. Hold your breath to the count of 8. Now, what you're breathing, what you're feeling, seeing, and touching is your true self. Those are the results that you are getting by breathing in and out. So I'll leave that for you to ponder, to comment upon, and love comments. You can put them on my internet site. And now we're going to go into our spotlight guest and hear more about how she creates and what she's all about. She's really exciting. I just love Milene. So Milene, let's hear from you.
Yeah, it really fits the topic today that you were speaking about, our true self. That's how I try to work. That's to be in the moment, to express how I feel in the moment, and to be very natural about it. We were talking before we went live, you know, even in what kind of clothes or no clothes, or if you put on lipstick or not, you know, that to really even how you work, how you feel when you start any kind of artwork. For me, as a channeler, I channel it through my words or songs or artwork on canvases or cups, glasses, and or through energy, hands-on energy work. But it's all the same. It is really in the moment, being in the moment, and letting the hand be moved, and even letting the color be chosen or the material. I'm going to use, you know, when I paint, what do I want to paint? I feel suddenly a little edge, or I feel something that I want to express it instead of just learning something else or going for a walk, that something wants to be created. And to follow my feeling and where it drives me to, even in the room where I walk into, you know, following myself, believing in myself that I do the right choice. So if I paint on canvas, like behind me, that I choose my plant pigmented watercolor, and do I draw on a canvas or paper, and even there I choose again. And to feel, and what do I want to touch, because it's, you know, it's a co-creation, I believe. It's creating with spirit, and also to look in deep in myself what I want to create. So, and if there's a correlation and there is a conversation between us, then I can let it just flow out. If I resist and I'm not true to myself, for example, then no beauty comes, because beauty is really what grabs someone, an observer, or someone who views or hears the sound or views the drawing or holds the cup in the hand, you know, the beauty of this. And if I resist, there's no beauty created. I mean, it's still pretty, but something is missing. There is a certain sparkle, a certain magic that is missing, I've learned. So now I don't draw or paint or sing, whatever that doesn't want to happen, I don't push it anymore. I just wait for the time for it to draw me to it, or to draw it out of me, what wants to be drawn out. So that is really living in my rhythm. I call that living my rhythm and listening to my body, my feelings, and then I'm true to myself.
Awesome. Sounds like you follow that spark.
Yeah.
You know, Tony got a cup from you where you put some of your beautiful artwork on, and she says it makes a most magnificent cup of tea. Tony, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I just love the cup that Milene made, and she put a name on the bottom, the love of art, and that's kind of been my own little mantra that I've been trying to live by, that, you know, just like you say, you know, let the emotions come out, and when I resist that, nothing happens. But that cup, it's just very powerful. It makes such a good, and I'm very calm when I use Milene's cup, and it's just amazing how things we touch absorb and then are released, you know, when somebody else has it. It's just very powerful.
That's beautiful to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you know, that is exactly I call it the wisdom. So if the wisdom, our wisdom, is drawn out and being materialized, that's what calms us. So if it comes through tones, it comes visually, or, you know, the water or the beverage is coded through symbols that are painted. So we let this wisdom, or our true selves, and the letting it come together to create something new. and express that, we feel very comfortable. We feel very relaxed. Everything becomes easier, simpler. Mm.
Yeah, it's very calming when all that comes together.
Yeah. It's the same how, you know, the state, it reproduces the state when we are synchronized with our surrounding, when we are synchronized, when we're in a natural state. That's why we feel so comfortable suddenly, because we're synchronized with everything. So as an artist, you have experienced these moments, especially if you have larger projects and you start and you don't hear anything in the world. And a few hours later, you stop and said, oh, where did the time go? And in the meantime, you just created beauty. And it doesn't matter if 1,000 lines were put down or just a few. But we were really in our creation. We went to our source, our artist's source, and just stayed there and brought out what is really us. And every artist who's listening today has experienced these moments. Then you are yourself.
Yes, that's that flow, that spectrum of energy, that just being with all that is in the moment. And yeah, that's your true self, your true artist self. And we're so fortunate to be able to be in the profession of being an artist and being a creator, where we actually manifest things in an aware way that feel that flow. Yeah.
For us, it's easier to speak about. We've been given a vocabulary. Our interest drew us already through it. But, you know, there's the culinary arts, there's the music. But even in engineering, they think abstract as well. They also create beauty. They just put it together. And I think too often we neglect them as well. They're also life artists. Yeah. And they bring it into the world, but they were not given the vocabulary. And I think we're fortunate to have been given the vocabulary and to give it on, you know, to others, to be able to use it. So the way we express ourselves, we allow others then to express themselves in the same way.
And then the more we gather in groups, you know, like on these hangout shows or on courses we take, and more with creative people, like-minded people, the more that vocabulary grows. You know, it's like a muscle. The stronger you get in your own way of handling your own energies. Yeah.
And you've been speaking about the law of attraction. So the law of attraction is a conscious thought. I call it a conscious thought. You call it law of attraction. It's just a different way of expressing it through what kind of experience we had in life. So it's a thought that we put out. It's the focus, and that's already creating.
Yes.
Yeah. We would not, there is a reason why we even created it in the first place, even the thought. And then everything else follows.
All piles in there. They could be positive thoughts or negative thoughts. So they all pile in on top of each other when we have them. And the words create the thought, and creates the emotion, creates the results. And sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. It just depends on, you know, the kind of paint you use to get it out there, or the kind of clay you use to get it out there. So yeah, to be a conscious, deliberate creator is really a good way to live as an artist.
Yeah. You know, sometimes a good idea is, for me that has worked, to really believe in whoever is the viewer will get the message. Even sometimes I don't understand totally what is there, and to just draw it and to let it come out. You know, when I was younger, when we went to college, you learned the principles of art. So by now, through the new vibrations and the wisdom that is brought out now through me, is often I've observed myself, oh my God, don't I need like a third dot, or at minimum I have to repeat the color somewhere, or it's not in balance? And to let even go of what I've been taught, what the evolution was of other artists in different centuries, or 1,000 years ago, or 4,000 years ago, depends what's art, and to see what is now, what are the vibrations bringing at the moment. And what I've observed is then when the right person sees it, especially when I go to trade shows, the right person comes and knows this is their painting. Like they've been always waiting, and they understand what has been painted or drawn. And that always amazes me. So even to be true to myself and to let go and say, yep, it's okay, whatever way it is. The observer, the person that has been created for, will find it. And maybe now, in 10 years, or maybe in 100 years. We don't know.
Yes.
Go.
And that trust, just trust in the process, trust in that it's there for a reason, you're being sparked for a reason, you're manifesting for a reason, you're creating the art for a reason, and you might not know it yet, but it will be revealed. It's amazing, Tony and I play this little game. It kind of evolved here in that we often show up with the same colors on. It's like, how does that happen? We don't plan it or anything. And I'll see her and we'll have the same colors on. And so it's kind of like that flow, of one thing going into another thing. And yeah, there we are with the same colors on. It's amazing.
Sorry.
I think that's why I enjoy watercolor as a medium, because it's very definitely in the moment. And you have to allow it to progress before you can move on. And you don't know how the paper is going to absorb or what energies are going to be in the paper. And once I realize that and let go of the control issues, it just flows and it happens and it becomes what it needs to be. And it's just an amazing process to watch. And it allows me to grow as well because I'm letting go of that. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and I've seen you grow and grow and grow. It's so exciting, to just be there and watch that. So yeah. Hey, Milene, Tony, she got that cup and she's so happy with her cup, and I would really like to get a cup for myself. So can I order one from you, or?
Yes, you can. Mm-hmm.
How do I do that?
On my website, I have a blog post called Wisdom Cup, and there you can order one because I have a glass or different shapes of cups, or email me and whatever is most practical. Facebook would just say, I want a cup, and I can even choose. I'm very in tune with it, what shape it is or what kind of glass to use. Mm-hmm. You can
That's so awesome. Yeah.
Surprised or dictate a little bit.
Okay. When somebody passes that, like, is a relative or anybody I know, I go out and I buy a cup in their honor, and then as I, take that cup, I have a feeling of a connection with that beloved person. And so cups are pretty special that way. They're like a holder of things, and holder of memories, holder of beauty. And I was really kind of jealous when Tony got her cup, and I thought, I'm getting my own cup.
There you go.
Yeah, I just heard a very beautiful story of the Japanese. They really cherish their cups as well. And they fix it over and over and over again, because the energy, the love, the information, their own wisdom, or even, it's the best they create their own often. it's their story, and it feeds them over and over and over. And
Yeah.
it's the support. Yeah, and it's funny. I have my one right standing here. It's like, I don't know if you can. I have to go up. That's what I drew for me. That's my favorite.
Oh,
I have many cups, but I'm always happy when that comes out of the dishwasher and I can use it again. hmm It's really a different feeling. So I'm going to fix that over and over.
awesome. Awesome. I love that. I love the feeling of being able to be filled up with wonderful things and symbols that are created by a true wisdom person. So that's it for today on the Hangout Show, and I want to thank all my viewers for being here and listening, and to invite you again to go to my internet site, sandralongmore.com. It's also down here on the lower thirds here, my internet site, and to sign up for the 4-part series, and you can get that as a recording now. I won't do a live one for a while because I have one going right now, but you can get the recording. And also to invite you to be on my panel sometime with the Hangout with Sandra Longmore show, or come on into some of the communities. And I'd like to also have our Tony and Milene introduce, tell people where they can get a hold of you.
I'm on Facebook, just under Tony Winters, so you're welcome to come
And
comment.
Tony's an artist of mini pictures. She does the little mini pictures that are really cool. Yes, and
Yes,
Milene?
my information is, I have a website. It's mileneehlke.com, spelled MEILINEEHLKE.com. There you can find information, and also on Facebook under the same name, Milene Ehlke, you can find me and write me. I'm always really interested what people think about what I've said and about discourse, and continuing the conversation. So I invite everyone to write me. And thank you, Sandra, again for having me on the show, and Tony, super to have you here as well.
Always
You
good
are
to see
so
you.
welcome. Wonderful show. So stay tuned, viewer, for the next Hangout with Sandra Longmore show, and we will have more inspirational guests that offer thoughts, beauty, and solutions just for you. So bye for now.